I never imagined that one night could change everything. I thought it was just a joke, a dare, a little experiment to see what it would feel like to step into someone else's shoes, literally. But standing in front of the mirror that night, in her soft pastel blouse, delicate skirt, and shoes that clicked lightly against the floor, I felt different. Not just on the outside, but deep inside. My pulse was hammering, my hands shook, and I couldn't stop staring at the reflection. It wasn't me. And yet it was. My friend's sister had been teasing me for weeks, joking about how I never dress for fun, and how I should try something new. I laughed it off, nervously brushing my hair back, but there was a small part of me, an unspoken curiosity, that was aching to explore. When she left her wardrobe, slightly ajar that night, I froze. I could almost hear her whispering, "Try it. Just for tonight." Curiosity overpowered caution. I slipped the blouse over my shoulders, and it clung to my skin in ways I didn't expect. The fabric was soft, silky, and carried her scent faintly. I could feel every curve, every contour differently. My chest tightened, not in panic, but in something strange, exhilarating. My fingers traced the blouse, and then I moved to her skirt, brushing it lightly over my thighs. I could barely breathe. I caught sight of myself in the full-length mirror and froze. Who was staring back at me? "Is this me?" I whispered, voice trembling. Higher, lighter, fragile. I lifted a hand to my face and touched my lips, smooth and glossed. I didn't recognize myself. And yet I wanted to. The next morning, I woke up with a mix of fear and exhilaration. My normal clothes felt heavy, constricting. I avoided mirrors, avoided eye contact, even avoided leaving the apartment. I kept replaying last night over and over. The way the skirt swayed, the soft brush of fabric against my skin, the thrill of seeing my reflection in a softer, stranger version of myself. At work, it was torture. Every glance in a mirror felt like a mirror into another life I hadn't dared to live. My stiff collar, tight shoes, and flat expression felt suffocating. I caught myself daydreaming constantly. Her blouses, her skirts, her subtle grace, the soft movements I had never known I could mimic. One coworker commented, "You seem different lately." I laughed nervously, muttering something vague. Different? I felt more alive than I'd ever been. Even my friends noticed the shift, though none could place it. I felt invisible, yet exposed, like everyone could sense the change I hadn't yet dared to embrace. And every night, I returned to her wardrobe, each time daring myself a little further, brushing on makeup, testing my voice, moving my body in ways that felt alien and intoxicating. My first real experiment alone was overwhelming. Music low, curtains drawn, I slipped into a pale blue dress she had laid out for me. The fabric hugged my shoulders and chest, brushing my skin in ways I didn't know I craved. I picked up a brush and ran it through my hair, feeling it cascade softly down my back. Then came the makeup. Foundation first, smoothing over my jawline. A little mascara, a dab of lip gloss. Each stroke felt transformative, like unlocking something I hadn't known I was missing. I whispered to myself, "This isn't real, it's just for fun." But my reflection told a different story. The reflection smiled softly back, tilting its head just like her. I tried moving, walking, testing how my hips swayed. My heart raced. I spun lightly in front of the mirror, letting the skirt swirl around my legs. I laughed quietly, covering my mouth, unable to stop. The thrill was terrifying, the excitement addictive. By the time I heard her footsteps returning, I was trembling, caught between panic and exhilaration.
She didn't gasp.
She didn't scold. She simply smiled, that quiet, knowing smile that made me feel seen in ways I had never experienced. "There you are," she said softly. And just like that, something inside me shifted. The following days were a blur of fear and fascination. Every reflection, every passerby, every glance felt loaded with possibility. I couldn't stop thinking about her clothes, about the thrill of experimenting in secret, about what it would feel like to step further into this new persona. I started small. A scarf draped casually over my shoulders, a soft sweater left on my chair, a note. Try this. You'll look beautiful. Each time I obeyed, I felt my pulse quicken, my heart flutter. Each time, I discovered something new about myself. The way my hands moved, the sway of my hips, the soft cadence of my voice. Weekends became the real test. Quiet cafes, empty bookstores, long walks down the river, places where I could explore my identity in public. The first stranger to call me Miss nearly sent me into shock. My knees threatened to buckle. Panic surged, but her hand in mine steadied me. Beautiful, she whispered. And I believed her. Confidence grew, slowly at first, then all at once. Each small victory, ordering coffee as myself, responding to compliments, walking with ease in public, built upon the last. The fear remained, but it was now paired with exhilaration. I was discovering myself, layer by layer, garment by garment, movement by movement. Then came the confrontation I had dreaded. A coworker spotted me, fully dressed, hair brushed, voice soft and confident. Their eyes widened. I didn't know. Panic clawed at me. I wanted to flee, hide, erase this version of myself. But I didn't. I lifted my chin and said softly, yet firmly, "This is me." The moment was electric, terrifying, liberating. In that instant, I understood that I could never go back. The old me, the cautious, invisible me, was fading. The self I had discovered, nurtured, and embraced was taking over. Fear mingled with joy, anxiety with pride. I felt whole. After that, life transformed. I explored new styles, gestures, and expressions with freedom. Mirrors became allies rather than enemies. Each reflection reminded me that I had chosen this path, embraced this identity, and was thriving within it. She had guided me, yes, but every step was mine to take. The crown, delicate and soft, belonged to me. Now I walk with confidence, laugh without reservation, and move through the world unafraid. I am soft, strong, delicate, and alive. I am finally myself. If you're watching this and feel that quiet, aching part of yourself, that whispered curiosity or unspoken desire, know this. Becoming yourself is not about losing control. It's about choosing it. Sometimes it takes courage. Sometimes it takes guidance. Sometimes it takes quiet exploration, whispered experimentation, and tiny steps in secret. But ultimately, it is your choice, and it is beautiful. Step into it. Embrace it. Own it. I knew the moment of truth was coming. I had been experimenting, exploring, and slowly stepping into this new version of myself for weeks. But until now, it had always been in private, behind closed doors, safe. The thrill of walking out in public, of being seen, of being me, was terrifying. And tonight, there was no hiding. She had insisted we go to a small gathering at a friend's apartment. A few people I knew would be there, friends, acquaintances, but no one too close. Just enough to test me, to see if I could truly step into this new identity without flinching. My chest was tight, my palms slick with sweat as I slipped into the soft pink dress she had laid out, brushing my hair just right, applying the faintest hint of gloss to my lips. "Are you ready?" she whispered, her fingers brushing mine gently. The touch sent a shiver through me. I nodded, though my knees threatened to buckle. As soon as we stepped inside, the air seemed thicker. People glanced at us, murmured greetings, some smiles, some curious stares. Every heartbeat was amplified. Every breath seemed audible. I wanted to turn around, run, shed this dress, and vanish. But she squeezed my hand and whispered, "You've got this. Just be yourself." And that's when I felt it, a surge of courage, the tiniest spark of rebellion against fear. I am myself.
Right now.
Fully. Completely. Someone came up and smiled. A friend I knew. "Wow, you look amazing." Their words hit me like electricity. I laughed nervously, then more freely. The fear was still there, but it was tempered now by pride, by a sense of belonging I hadn't known I could feel. Then the real challenge appeared. My coworker, someone I hadn't expected to see, stepped into the room. Their eyes widened instantly, flicking between my face and the dress, taking in every detail. I felt my stomach twist, panic threatening to claw me from the inside. I could run. I could hide. I could drop everything and return to safety. But something inside me refused. I lifted my chin, took a deep, steadying breath, and spoke, my voice soft but unwavering. This is me. The room went quiet for a heartbeat, and then murmurs rippled around us. My co-worker's expression shifted from surprise to something like admiration, and I realized something profound. I had taken control of my fear. I had chosen myself. Her eyes met mine, full of warmth and pride. "You see," she whispered. "You were ready all along." Every muscle in my body relaxed, replaced by a thrill I could barely contain. I laughed softly, a mixture of relief and exhilaration, and moved through the room with a grace I hadn't known I possessed. People smiled, complimented, and for the first time, I felt entirely seen, not as someone playing a role, not as someone pretending, but as myself. That night, I crossed the line from curiosity to full acceptance. The dress, the makeup, the gestures, they weren't just external. They were me, and nothing could take that away.